No child should call the grave of his murdered parents home, because Gotham City and that grave are the same. Hiding the remains of disgrace, of raw violence, of the disease of ignorance. While we all rot, in this city, we bleed each other in different ways. We decompose, losing what makes us human. And we can't understand why. Why are we rotting? Because we're used to it. It's happening in front of our faces. At this exact moment. In the room next door. The protectors become the predators. Violence becomes entertainment for the everyman. The everyman becomes the criminal. The child becomes a spectator to his parents' murder. And that child became me. I swore by the graves of my parents that I would stop this endless bleeding, warring on all evil, so that no one else would again bleed like my parents bled. It was when I left Gotham, but wherever I went, Gotham was there, haunting me, never letting me forget who I should be. Stand! A hostage to my own vow of revenge. Night shift, bums. You lazy morons, we're gonna need you to work twice as hard to hit our deadline. And we don't want to hear any crying tonight, do we? When I returned, there was no light of hope in Gotham. The little light I found just cast my shadow in the dark. And the shadow was no longer that child's. It was a blurry figure that I'm still trying to decipher. Hey, you two. What are you waiting for? Get down to the basement and bring more ammonia. Now that child struggles not to be drowned within the dense night inside me. Wondering, what have I become? Ah, fuck! Fuck's going on? Call everybody now! Have you heard a scream like that before? Where are they? Here! What happened, scumbags? Why the fuck did you scream? We didn't scream. It wasn't a scream. It was bait. What? So who screamed? Jesus, look at their eyes. Behind you! Yes, there it is again. That petrified look. My brand. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. The look of those who see true horror for the first time. I turn into the thing he'll see for the last time. Until he recovers. But this terrifying memory will become a wound that never heals. This is their life-changing moment. The moment they beg for a second chance and start to believe in God for sparing them. But this is not his work. God doesn't go to the same places I do. Yes, show me the place by your heavy, hurried steps. Increase hearing 15%. Big room. Sound of glass shaking. Another noisy wooden staircase. A balcony. He stops. The place was invaded. A monster. Oh no. Please don't. There's something beyond those stairs. A shiver crawls up my spine. Just a natural reaction to the strong smell of the chemicals that becomes an unexpected adrenaline rush. Unlucky bastards. No reason to prolong their misfortune. I have a case to solve. 3 murders in the past 5 days, and it seems the evidence brought me to the right place to find answers. Oh my. No. No. Don't focus on these memories. Let them go. Focus on the brutality and turn it into rage. On the strong smell of ether in the air. On the ammonia, nitric acid, toluene. This is a clandestine laboratory for trinitotoluene. TNT. That explains why those henchmen didn't use firearms. The killer welcomes me with a macabre red carpet. He wants to shock me. You sick bastard. I will make you pay for what you did. I will greet you with my best goodbye. The blinding strobe lights and the invasive synthetic smell in the air make my stomach demand escape through my throat. I deny it. This room is a dark, Moldy nightmare. No. I have nightmares. I know nightmares. Don't touch them. Don't touch my thoughts. Don't want to know how much my thoughts hurt. This is not a nightmare. This is the dense night inside me. So much ether in the air. The room is fading. You can't escape. Concentrate. Concentrate. He strikes as if he's at a sink. One bar ahead of me. He wants me awake. To dance with me. I'm his date in a dance where he's the only one who knows the steps. He drags me into a suicidal choreography while whispering a deadly lullaby in my ear. Nothing to lose, nothing to win, nothing to hide. Nothing but the real face of pain. And I finally find something true in Gotham. My arm. How long have I concentrated? Intoxicated, hallucinating. Increase hearing 35%. I can't let him escape. No. No. The men in the basement. The chemical residue from the body of the third victim led me to a clandestine TNT lab. And now, I'm hearing chatter about a fourth victim. What the lab has to do with the murders, I'm still not sure. But now I know my investigation could take another turn before something much worse happens. I need to find the explosives they were making before it's too late. That villain is the key. He was in charge of the lab, but his methods don't match those of the serial killer. I used to fight gangsters, criminals, and lunatics, but that assassin was something completely new. Seems like he's obsessed with his old cartoon character called Crytoon. He was mimicking the character in his violent cartoon gags. Don't want to know how much my thoughts hurt, he said, while crying. This is so bizarre, so complex, and fascinating. Master Bruce, I have to say that my concern is already hard to measure. This time it was close. I was saved by the technology that you practically forced me to invest in, wasn't I? This new suit makes me virtually invulnerable. That's not what these scars and bruises prove, Master Bruce. These bruises prove only one thing, Alfred, that Batman needs to improve. What good are all these tools if the one who uses them is not fully committed? I've been plagued by memories that get in the way of my mission, Alfred. Bruce Wayne only saved me so that I could exist. Why are you talking about yourself in the third persons? I've been planning the public death of Bruce Wayne, erasing his existence and working to clear his memories is the next step I must take to fully commit to my mission. Things are getting worse, and Gotham needs a full-time protector. Excuse me, sir, but this is the greatest of all the insanities you have ever spoken in your entire life. After I solve this case, I will take the necessary measures, and Bruce Wayne will no longer exist. It's all set up. I will not allow Batman to suppress Bruce Wayne's. Too late, Alfred. Miller, Fincher, Walker, and now Von Tobel. No connection between them. Our only clue is the puncture wounds we found on the bodies of all the victims. Ice pick. Well, the wounds are oval-shaped because of the Langer lines of the skin. So yes, they were made by a circular-tipped piercing instrument, but some of the wounds went right through the body. Due to the caliber and length of the instrument, we ruled out the ice pick. Everything indicates that this is a piercing instrument we've never seen before. A more detailed analysis showed that based on the configurations of the wounds, there was no resistance from the victims when the perforations were made. The bodies would need to be at rest to allow for such linear and perfect punctures. The victims were killed by the initial blow to the spinal cord, between the C1 and C2 vertebrae. A precise strike to the region with a piercing instrument hits the brainstem, severing the center of breathing and movement. The victim could not move from the neck down, but would remain conscious until their air ran out. It seems that the killer insisted the victims be spectators to their own murders. Perfect. That's what I concluded from the new coroner's data as well. If I'd had access to the bodies, we would have discovered all this a long time ago.
You know that would get me in big trouble, Batman. Many in the department still consider you an outlaw.
I'm outside the laws that protect the corrupt. Anyway, the pattern of the wounds corresponds to energy points in the human body. The killer is sending a message. Are there any other related cases?
Yes, this is where things get more mysterious. I found an unsolved case from 30 years ago in the GCPD files that shares similarities with our cases. Dr. Franz Ebner was a German scientist in Gotham City, researching the properties of the energy field of the human body. However, Dr. Ebner was arrested, accused of murdering his assistant. He served his sentence and was later found dead in a hotel room. The wound on Dr. Ebner's neck had the same characteristics as the injuries of the victims we're investigating.
Were they able to categorize the piercing instrument at the time?
No, there was no further effort in the investigations. The case got shelved. But I tracked down the prisoner who shared a cell with Dr. Ebner, Ken McRae. He's still serving time.
So you know how to proceed with your investigation?
I know. And you? What have you been discovering? What happened with that explosion in the industrial zone? There were victims and...
Alfred, I am confused but not surprised. That you do not remember being treated at the Arkham Asylum Children's Wing, Master Bruce. Why have you never mentioned this to me, Alfred? At the time, I was given direct instructions by your specialist, Dr. Quinton, to never bring up the subject, lest it become a trigger for another outburst of violence.
Which outburst of violence?
What do you remember about the night your parents were murdered, sir?
I remember we went to the movies. I asked my parents to walk through downtown on our way back home. An armed man approached us. I heard my mother scream, shots, and my parents fell bleeding at my feet, lifeless, and then this strange vision always comes to mind. A demon cub with a broken wing.
Dr. Quinton probably altered your real memories during the treatment. For you, that night ends with the murder of your parents. But what happened next was nearly as brutal. You were in shock. I wanted to take you home, but then you disappeared, like a ghost. The police and I looked down every dark alley for you for hours. But then we found you. You thought you went after your parents' killer, but ended up beating a homeless man until he was paralyzed. Dr. Quinton offered help, and his treatment seemed effective, until Batman came along.
Alfred, I need the truth. How could you hide this from me? And why have you never questioned the idea of Batman?
I couldn't stand to see you take on even more guilt on top of what you already carried following the death of your parents. And Batman, at least you brought meaning to our lives.
Our lives?
You weren't the only one who lost loved ones that day. And I believed that a purpose, however absurd, would keep me from losing you too. But I was wrong. Bruce Wayne is my weakness. Alfred, but how can I erase his memories if I don't even know what they are? Have you reflected on the pattern you are repeating, sir? Dr. Quinton erased your memories, and now you're trying to do the same.
Alfred, what if Batman wasn't even my idea?
I think that answer lies in finding out who Bruce Wayne really is. So that's how it feels. Forgive me, Mother. I lost control. But I won't let the guilt get in my way. I will make the violence my rite of passage by changing its meaning. Each blow becomes a stab at the child inside me, until he dies. No weakness, only the inevitable bitter moan inside me. I'll be complete. But when he's gone, I'll forget you, Mother. This will be my most wrenching sacrifice.
My range of action theory was right, but we arrived too late. I'm certain the next victim is on Dr. Quinton's list, and this time we need to act quickly. This confirms that the criminal we arrested isn't the serial killer we're looking for, but he made this drawing with his own blood on the table in the interrogation room. If you're right about there being more explosives out there, I don't think we're prepared for what's to come.
I am right. And apparently you didn't notice that this crime scene was tampered with. Objects have clearly been removed. There are police involved in these crimes. No one can be trusted.
You can trust me, Batman. I don't know why the hell I keep trying to convince myself that we're working together. I'm putting my goddamn career at risk meeting you.
I work alone, Gordon. Take this.
You think you're better than me, don't you? Your arrogance is putting lives at risk. The only thing that matters is to save lives, Batman. So what the hell do you think you're doing?
I don't care what any of you think about me. Go check the other address.
I can finally see you. I don't take orders from you, kid. You can disappear now.
Bruce Wayne is fighting like never before to survive this mental battle. Everything I discovered about him today, it sounds like he's crying for help. Mother, is that you? Sending me these signs. You're afraid of being forgotten while your assassin still breathes. He still breathes.